Welcome back, family. Lancescurv here. I have a few things I want to talk about, a few things that were on my mind today, and I want to share them. My thoughts were racing all over the place, but as I organized my thoughts, as I made a commute out downtown, I plucked them out of the air, jotted some notes down, and put it in some order. So for me now, I want to convey this. I didn't know how to put it out there. Was I going to do an audio recording where you don't see me? Was I going to do a live show? I just want to focus on these particular points and make you see what I want to share. The thought happened to me, and it came to me as a erase and reset. Now, many people can say that they're the victim of this, but I know us as scattered Africans, stolen Africans, we've been through this the most. And as I look today at many of the Ghanaians around me, you have good and bad in every nationality. You have jealousy, greed, gossip, all of that stuff. It's here too. It's just different, in a different way. Because I like to study people. And I have a lifetime of studying Black folks in America, really, really deep. If there's anybody to claim or that can claim they have a degree in Black people, it's me. Observing, absorbing, remembering, evaluating, that's embedded in me, and nobody can tell me any different. I know how we are. Just like a child who knows their mother, who knows their father, and gets angry when they're told they couldn't go out to play in the yard or couldn't have that extra snack. Before that parent says it, they mouth it the way they, no, you're not, you can't, you didn't finish your homework or whatever, you didn't clean up your room, and they're mad. Because they know. And this is how I know my people in America, right? So, erase and reset. Just to freestyle this part, which I have notes, I'm still going to freestyle. We know that we have something special. And the world knows that we have something special. Even those of us who are downtrodden, beat down in our spirit, don't have much money, don't have much esteem, folks will despise us because they know what we have, but we don't know what we have. And even those who may be of a different race or the privileged few, they will look down on us, but they will envy us. And I never understood that. Well, I've come to realize it's because they know more about us than we do. And they sure as hell do not want us to awaken, erase, and reset. But even though a lot of what we are has been erased, there's still remnants. There's still remains of our greatness, and we struggle with that because we know we're better than what we act out as, but we can't seem to manifest the whole thing. I'm not talking about all of us, because our upbringings are different and we come into realizations of this greatness or flashes of it, but we can't seem to grab onto it. And it's very frustrating because we are not the stereotype that this world puts out about us and reinforces, to the point where other people see us and they see the projected stereotype. Even here in the motherland, even here in Africa. I've had some very frank conversations with people here, not just the superficial stuff. Yeah, some of the superficial stuff. Oh, what is America like? And this, what they see on social media. No, but there are some individuals that we've had some really deep conversations, and I'm planning on having them come to the studio here where we can chop it up for hours and we can share this live. But that being said, many might not say it, but I've gotten them to open up about it. And I remember there's one young lady I spoke to, and she was very frank. She moved to Canada now, but I still want to get her on the phone or get her on the show via, side by side, live. Maybe she'll show her face, maybe she won't, I don't know. But with me, she was very open. And the first thing that she said was, oh, and she didn't say it angrily, very humble. But she represented the circle of friends that she has. And she says, a lot of us think that you guys are too quick to want to fight, quick to want to be confrontational. And we're kind of not scared, but apprehensive. See? And this is the propaganda. This is the unique frustrations that we feel in the world or toward the world as people who are Black Americans. Not all, but some and a whole hell of a lot, right? And so we may act a certain way because of a frustration that many who are in Africa don't know what got us to that point. Because they think it's all peaches and cream in America. And it's not the case. So I'm not going to get into that part of it, maybe tomorrow night, because I want to talk some deep stuff. I don't want to talk just superficial stuff. I don't want to do it. I'm getting too old for that. Not that I ever really focused on that, but there's discussions that we need to have, and we're not having it. So I have my notes in front of me. There's a few things that I want to say that I jotted down that I want to make sure that I get in this thing. Number one, we were born with greatness in our DNA. Long before slavery, before colonization, we were kings, queens, scientists, builders, and spiritual warriors. Our true nature is coded into our DNA, but most of us have no idea. But when our greatness shines through, there's somebody there to capitalize on it. If you're an entertainer or an athlete, which we've been pushed in those areas because they don't want us to be movers and shakers and thinkers and take up things that would change the world and change our world. So they had to make it where we saw ourselves a certain way. And the only time it seems that we really not believe in ourselves, but know in ourselves is when somebody else sees it and capitalizes on it to say, hey, you can do something. And when that, and I'm going to say symbolic white man deems you as being great and gets behind you, now you believe in yourself more, right? But it's only in areas where we can be controlled and we're not going to be a mover and a shaker. If we're shaking our behind, dancing, telling jokes, being an athlete, it's fine with them. But do they get behind us to push us to be scientists, push us to be philosophers, push us to be builders independently? This is why they have a problem with President Ibrahim Traore in Burkina Faso, because he's not going for that. He stopped the porn from coming in. He doesn't want more mosques and churches. Get schools in there. Let's be independent and build for the future. No, we don't want your handout. We're already, and this is him talking, we're out of debt as a country. Could America brag about that? There are many people who look like me, who are so braggadocious. No, yes, America is this and America is that, and America, I don't hate America. I don't like the system. I don't hate the people, unless you hate me. You gotta be very selective. Like I say, when I talk, I like to go in with surgical precision so that nobody some people want to misunderstand it. They want to not hear what I said and put something opposite in the comment section, right? But there's an arrogance in many Black Americans when they travel the world, the arrogance of their former slave master. And it goes back to, or up to, and I'm throwing these things out. Even in the church, I've said this before. The scenario, you got two old ladies sitting on the bus stop waiting for the bus. One has the full fare and one's scared that she's short and she didn't check, but she has a little bit of money. But they go to two different churches. It's early Sunday afternoon because it was a long service, and one of the church ladies will say, oh, my pastor just bought a brand new Cadillac. Brand new Cadillac, top of the line. And the other old black woman will sit there and say, well, my pastor bought a top of the line Mercedes for his wife, and he's buying a Rolls Royce. See this? It may not be the slave master, but it was that person who was put in the place of the slave master to make us docile, waiting on something instead of getting up and doing for ourselves. We don't realize how great we are, because we're wired in a way that when we do have greatness and see it in a specific area, no matter what it is, there's a cutoff switch with us lots of times. And we all know that person who is in the black neighborhood, whether it's a hood or middle class neighborhood or even upper class neighborhood, where they failed. They really failed. I'm not going to call anybody a failure because there's circumstances that some just can't get over. I understand that. But there's always that person that the whole community acknowledges as being that next great whatever it may be in whatever category. And they got right to the point of being able to execute in maybe the schooling or maybe the scholarship or maybe the sponsorship, and they just lost it. And they lived the rest of their life messed up in the head because they didn't hit the mark that they had so much talent and ability and know-how in. We're great, we just don't know it. Erase and reset. What have we been reset to be? Mediocre, nondescript, just ready to accept mediocrity and just be this regular person. I'm not knocking anybody who has not had their name up in lights. That should not be the goal. We should be discreet to a point and focus on the task at hand to amplify ourselves, to manifest the greatness that's inside of us. And lots of times fame and fortune can get in the way of that also, and we forget the focus of what we have to have, and we lose our way and don't manifest the real greatness that can benefit our people. That's the main thing. I'm not saying be great and just drive around in a big expensive car and say, yes, I'm successful. How successful are you if the least of you are suffering? I'm not saying be successful and take all your money and throw it away to people who may not have the sense and discipline to carry on. But you now can sponsor somebody else or fund somebody else who's not online asking for cash. Hit the cash app, hit the cash app, hit the cash app. We're so screwed up. We'd rather entertainers who are wordsmiths that have good points, but what are they doing? What are they doing? Why can't you spot that great one in your midst and back them up silently? You're not looking for applause. You're looking to use your success to manifest success in someone in your community. It doesn't have to be physical. Community can be global. Get a bunch of you to say, hey, listen, we need to sponsor this person through school. They have the discipline. You have to check them out now. Make sure they stay the course. And step to their parents or the ones who are older or former business. But when you're controlled by the powers that be, the small hats or the former slave masters, which they're still current slave masters in a corporate way, you can't help anybody out that looks like you. You can't. It's against their laws. But they'll take your wealth in a big chunk of it that you earned. They may have set up the structure, but they have things set up in a way where you don't have much if they deem it that way and can take your wealth from you. Are you really free? But many in America, oh yes, I've accomplished this and I have this degree and you can't go beyond where they let you go. But you got greatness inside of you. And they know it. They know it. but your greatness is not to benefit you. Let's move on to the next one. The erasure was deliberate. Our history was stolen, hidden, and rewritten. Ancient records, tribal legacies, and spiritual practices were erased to control us. What's the point? If you erase a people's past, you can manipulate their future. Our tribal legacies, our spiritual rituals, everything about us, the root of us. Clip! See, you can take a tree and trim it all day long. Trim it nice and whatever, it's gonna live. But if 2 inches below the surface of that tree, you cut its root, I mean, that would be hard to do 2 inches below, but if there was a way to get something to cut just 2 inches below, where you disconnect it from its roots, well, guess what? That tree is gonna fall immediately. It can't support the weight because there's usually more root below the ground, but the roots, it absorbs the moisture, the nutrients, the connectedness to the earth. We're not connected to who we are / were. We are it, but we've been disconnected. So the tree looks fine, disconnected to the roots, from the roots, but there's no connection for us to being us. So when someone else inserts their nutrients, which are not nutrients, it's poisons, but it's nutrients for them because now this tree that we are is going to benefit somebody else. So on the surface, we can say black power all we want. But as long as we continue to see our women as playthings and play toys to knock up and leave, disrespecting them and calling them bitchs, and the women who are acting like 304s, the powers that be love that because we ain't getting nowhere. I don't know what made me talk about this today, but I had to. Every now and then I got to get out my system. Because some of y'all, I'm tired of y'all. You hear this stuff, it's all online, but you click on the stuff that's irrelevant, that keeps us being disconnected from who we're supposed to be. And it's not going to change. It's not, unless we really detox off of the foolishness. Detox off of this phone. And the question was asked of me when I spoke about how social media and the smartphone is destroying us. Well, how can we get on to hear the good words, Brother Scurv, of you and other people if we're not on the phone? Well, you have to limit it. You have to budget it. You have to be targeting the content that you need. Now, if you're into sports, or I'm into boxing. I watch boxing. I follow bodybuilding because I used to do that years ago. But that's not the dominant thing. It just tickles me a little bit. Like, oh, let me keep up with this. But it's not the dominant thing. Because one day when the cell phone or the smartphone is taken away from us, or the internet is set up in a way where we can't even afford it, a lot of things years ago that I heard where it's going to be multi-tiered, and the cheapest, you have 3 tiers. The top one for rich folks, wealthy folks, the middle one, middle class people struggling to hold on to it, and poor folks won't hardly get anything on the cheap version. And we've been addicted to this thing for the longest time. Let's just say 20 years since Facebook and YouTube came around. Innocent to get you hooked. This is a long-term plan to take our minds. We're not focusing on what we need to be focused on. What is your relationship with a book? People jump on this thing called YouTube and social media and Facebook because they only want to be the one at the pulpit. They want to be the one to bring the truth. They want to be the one to be honored as this great man and this great guru of the future, whatever. And all they're doing is looking at other people's channel and echoing the same thing. They're not living it. They can't freestyle it. They can't put down a few notes and freestyle. They can't. They can't. They just put out rhetoric and no, I don't want the praise. Yeah, you want the praise. And you want a whole lot of other things that start with the letter P from the women when they admire you. There's a lot of narcissism here. If it wasn't that way, why are we where we are? The pastors and the preachers and these people who are influential. I mean, like, when are we going to get the courage to break away They broke us away from our traditions. We have the right to take it back, but we don't even know what it is now. But we know what they give us is not that. So why are you still consuming the poison that they're giving us? It's not restoring us. You take an old vehicle. The surface is rusty. The engine is locked. The suspension is beat up from years of neglect, and you don't know what. And some people, I know personally someone who restores vehicles. Not that, like he does a lot of them, but he took a vehicle, from what I know, and he's brought it back to the last detail. Beautiful vehicle. Why can't we be restored? Why aren't we restored? And if we're not being restored, what's happening? We're getting corroded and rusted and locked up and of no use. Also, as AI comes around and snatches up a lot of jobs, certain jobs that are not going to be taken, but there's so many people that's going to be squeezed in on that. They say, well, get a trade, be a plumber, be an electrician. That's cool. We're always going to need that, right? Certain things we're always going to need. But if everybody does that and you have only but so much jobs, it can't be where everybody's a plumber or whatever. So we have to think about a lot of things because we've been disconnected from the root, and then people don't care about us. So we got to formulate our own society, our own way of doing things. They manipulate the cash. Why can't we barter with each other and leave their system all the way? But greed is going to make it where, well, if I give you this, I'm giving you too much and I'm not getting enough, whatever. That's what money has done to us because we don't have community, because of the trinkets and the baubles and the rubies that we can get from their system, and now we feel separate and better. But we're all being played, getting a little paper money or digital money, trading it off for real life force. I'm going to talk about that before I'm done with that. Because everything is interlaced, interconnected, and they took everything away from us. It's like when you're in school, elementary school, and somebody walks up to you and pulls one of the laces open. The laces are open now in your shoe. You got to go back down and tie it up again. You can't run like that. Your shoe's going to fall off. So there's so many ways they have pulled the string from our shoes, snatched the belt off from our clothes, removed the stitches from our suit, and everything is falling apart, and we don't know who we are. Right? And there's things about us that we might not ever know specifically. They've done a wonderful, and I'm being sarcastic when I say this, they did a wonderful job on us. Wonderful for them, terrible for us. And no matter what we put on top of the corroded self that we become, it's not a foundation. So we have to erase and reset again. But it's too pleasurable to just shuck and jive and just be who we are, and we're not going to get any real fulfillment from life. In this system, the way they set it up for us, we're not going to really be fulfilled. Chasing dollars, chasing money, no sense of community, no sense of connectedness. Let me get through these points. We're just going to freestyle something. I just want to get these points through so we can do what we do. The reset was strategic. The goal wasn't just to erase, it was to replace our divine identity with something artificial. But what's the point? We were reset with false religions, toxic media, phony holidays, and an enemy's value system. Now we know about the holidays and the religions, how things have been twisted around and handed back to us. They disabled our spirituality by pushing the religion and keeping it just as that. But when you look at the religion, they don't abide by what they say is the right thing to do. You got these people who call themselves Christians back in the day, and it's still going on. Back in the civil rights era, going back, we're Christians. And after that, they're going to have a little barbecue as they watch a black man or a black woman get lynched, or a black woman have the babies cut out of her stomach, but they're Christians. And you want to sit next to them in a church, and you feel so bad that you can't sit next to the people who hate you so much that they're destroying you wholesale. And there's a lot of crates up in attics up in these homes where great-grandfathers have kept a finger off of a slave or one who was enslaved and preserved it as a souvenir. You all know this, but you're not gonna brag. You're not gonna go back to work the next day. Oh, everybody, look, my great-great-grandfather has a black man's penis preserved. You know this. You know how you talk around the dinner table, right? You grew up with this. You're embarrassed about it. You don't talk about it, but this is reality. And we know it. It's embedded in you because that's your nature. Oh, you smile now. You go to protests where maybe a black kid was shot and you're trying to earn it back a facade of righteousness because you know you really don't care. Because you're not going to say anything directly to your people. You're not going to try to help change the system. You just do a little something and figure, well, I don't feel so guilty because I helped out a little bit. You protest with a big sign covering your face, dark glasses and a hat. Nobody can see you. That's not doing anything. And we don't want you to do anything. You don't have to. But I'm stressing to us, what are we doing? Because if we did unite, we would be an unstoppable force. We're going to have differences. We're going to have differences, but everything has been replaced. And this is why they utilize the whole social media experience. They have charismatic people come on and say to black people in America, you're not African. You have nothing to do with Africa. Well, the whole planet is Africa. Who's putting the division out there and ordaining it and not calling it hate speech? But when you have truth speech, without anything bad, they'll pull back the views on that particular video because they don't want anybody to hear common sense. With any group, black group, if it's about dividing ourselves from ourselves, then it's no good and most likely government ordained. Government ordained. They're going to work hard to get the other guy or the woman who's speaking the truth that's beginning to resonate and smash their platform or try to discourage them. For those who can be discouraged, I'm like a roach. I'm going to keep coming back. You can spray me. I might fall down in the wetness of the spray and the two antennas fall down like a woman who just had her hair relaxed. Just don't smash me. You look around, you go back, wait a second, he's gone. He's alive. We have to keep punching, keep punching, keep punching. We have to keep punching. Eyes are swelling up, keep punching. You might miss some, but just keep punching. Hit the gut, hit the shoulders, hit the arms, hit the face. Put the opponent through hell. If you're gonna come after me, you're gonna have to go, you gotta take some blows. If you beat me and get a decision, you going home looking like the loser too. That's just something about me I know. I'm crazy relentless that way. You will not discourage me, devil. Once I see something to be real, I'm not gonna be nice to you to try to make you feel better about yourself and just, oh, it's soft. No, I'm not gonna soften it down. I'm never getting soft. No. I'm like a man on a worldly level who took a little too much Viagra. I ain't never soft. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about in my spirit. Because I got that spiritual Viagra. I'm always hard. Always ready to put it down. I'm doing some double speak right now. You know how I do, right? Okay. Here we go. The school system is a weapon. We know that. Schools don't teach truth. They teach submission. Black children are programmed with lies about themselves. So what's the point with this? A false history, a confused identity, a weaker future. A weaker future. We are being diluted. We don't even know our history. Somebody else wrote it and put it in books. We sit up in school and recite it back. But how come you're learning more about your Black African history now watching social media of those things that slip through? But because the other things are more enticing to you, black man, those beautiful backsides that are wearing thongs, and you, oh my God, wait, let me look at this for a second. Ain't nobody looking. They try to catch me like that too. I understand the beauty of the black woman is not just in her backside, but they want to hit you on a lower level so you can be weaker with your confused identity and false history. You're a man, you're always going to see it that way. But to weaken us, they have done things to our food, done things to our mind, bombarding us with all types of propaganda to where some men don't want to be men no more. I don't want to be a man no more. They've given up. It's too hard to be a man. It's too hard to be an upright, forward-speaking man because you're afraid of what you're going to lose. Yo, I can't say that. If they see this on social media, I might lose my job. Don't you have the right to your opinion and viewpoint when it's based on your own experiences and truth? I'm not afraid of losing no job. I don't have a job. As far as the system is concerned, that's why they mad. Pay me. I'm 62. Pay me for the work I did and retired, and pay me my Social Security. And I'm preparing now to not even have that off the grid and totally empowered, not waiting on somebody's check. But hell, I went through the system, give it to me. Now what you gonna do? Fire me? Can't do that. I'm still here. Now you paying me to tell you about yourself. And I'm not even nowhere near you. I'm way out in another country, right? Go back to Africa. Well, I did. Now what? When you come over here, stay out of Africa. All your oppressors will come here to manipulate and abuse and rape the country. Stay out of it. Go on to your trillions of dollars in debt. Go on to your stress and your mass shootings. Go on for all of that, all your diseases. Enjoy. Take the part you had for me, because I don't want it. You didn't get me, and you're not going to get me, because I live like a monk, beyond a monk. It's like Mr. T. Now I'm not dismissing Mrs. Scurv, but like when he said in Rocky, what was Rocky 3? I live by myself. I train by myself. I eat by myself. So aside from Mrs. Scurv, I'm not dismissing her, but I ain't got nothing else extra going on. I'm totally focused, because I'm going to have a strong final few rounds. Right? Nobody lives forever, but these rounds here, total focus, that's what it's all about. And we have to influence people. We may not have money to give them, to sponsor them. And if you can't, that's okay. Give something. Give some good talk. Give some good motivation. Pull them out of that place where they're drowning in the propaganda of social media and it's forming their mind to be a certain way. These kids are getting messed up. Constantly getting bombarded and having these dopamine hits of trash. Now, you know a kid child is not going to think right when it comes, look, you got broccoli on one side of the table and you got them chocolate chip cookies. Which one are they going to eat? See, you can eat which one you want. You don't have, whatever you want, leave whatever you don't want. You're going to see some broccoli sitting there, chances are. You gotta let them know what's in the broccoli. I'm not saying just push broccoli, but they're gonna go for the junk. They're gonna go for what they see. And that's why our younger children are all messed up from a young age. They know how to act nice around you and fall into their role and try to be innocent and stuff. I'm not saying they're not innocent, but they're tainted and they're exposed to stuff that they're not supposed to see to make us weak. You see, when the enemy comes after us, we think it's just going to be one weekend or no, it's a long-term plan. Their survival with their diminishing birth rates guarantee that they must do anything for their survival, even if it means bringing you down. Even if it means not using the word mulatto anymore and saying biracial. Even if they're not here in their fullest form, they want to mix with you now so they can still be here. Think about it. They don't love you. When do we go who are mixed with even one drop of black blood? You're black. Let's stay with that, right? Let's stay with that. Don't come with something new, and we're so glad to have this new category. Oh, no, I'm biracial. I'm biracial. We know people can be mixed, but politically, And to influence us, they get our minds a certain way. And that's what it's all about, right? We get to the next point. Oh yeah, this is what I like talking about. Social media, distraction, division, and ego. Explanation. They gave us platforms not to build, which we can use them to build, but to fight, brag, dance, and chase likes while they plan. Dance and brag and chase likes. What if, I'm not even gonna say what if, I know they do this. They have a video out there. They can push it to you in the algorithm where you see it and you can't help but click on it. Don't think these platforms are fair, right? Don't think that they don't give you likes on some decadence that they want to see out there. Oh man, and we see it, man, this thing got 500,000 likes in the last so many hours, right? So if it's all them people liking it, it must be good. If somebody tells you or recommends you a restaurant where the food is so good and the service is so good, and you go to that restaurant, I've spoken about this before, and you see 2 people in the restaurant's empty. But that's the restaurant that your friend recommended to you. But there's another restaurant next door where the line goes all the way around the corner and it's packed. And all the action is there. You're like, wait a second. That food in there must really be good. I don't think I'm going to that one that my friend recommended to me. I'm going to this other one only because you see so many people there. Narrow is the road, right? Just because other people are going there doesn't mean it's good or good for you. But we're influenced that way. So social media is not for us to build. And we jump on the bandwagon because we want to be seen. So we put more filth out there and foolishness and perpetrate this stuff and distribute it. And your enemy who is controlling you is good little fool for continuing and helping us to do our work. Because of ego. Again, we want to be seen. We want the likes. We have something inside of us that is void, empty, and this dopamine hit of likes and hits, I don't care about that stuff. On this new channel, I get far less likes and far less hits, but I still do what I do every day in some form or fashion. And I'm not gonna stop. That's not the only stuff I'm gonna do. You have to attack them in different ways. You can't be a boxer and just hit a person with one punch. You just can't use a jab. You can win a fight with a jab, but you gotta have a left hook, you gotta have a right cross, you gotta know how to dig the body, you have to know how to give it angles, you have to know how to use your legs to keep you just out of danger, and when they throw the punch, come on in like a counter puncher. So sometimes you have to be the aggressor. You have to have more strategy than that. But if they keep us looking at beautiful black asses all day, which they are beautiful, most beautiful in the world, I'm a man, I know. But you can't let that get to you. And that's not for you to be all over the place with. You have your woman, then you focus on that. Now let's get to the business at hand. Because they will righteously take care of you on that level and you'll be too drained to do anything. Like I said, they take the bullets out of you, you ain't going to no other gunfight. Because they use lust. And in our pain, that feels so much better than just being in pain. And that's how they get us too. Those of us who don't drink, don't do the drugs, don't have the anger issues, want to fight everybody, whatever have you, they'll use the lust after you. They'll take something that is righteous, the attraction for your woman, and turn it against you. And Lord have mercy, all my life they've used that on me. So even that can be a struggle. But there's nothing they can throw at you that you can't overcome. Hey, you might be into eating food, comfort food, and you feel bad or you feel down and you go to the food and you eat yourself out of good health. There's so many ways. This life is not easy. It wasn't meant to be a piece of cake for us, but we can win and we can have true peace of mind, happiness, and joy if we cut off from the stuff that they put on us. Erase and reset. They've done that to us. We got to do it back to ourselves with a plan. We all have different backgrounds, slightly, nationalities. It might be somebody from the Caribbean, somebody from the motherland, somebody from South America, Brazil, black folks down there. We got to stop this separation. We are the original. Like I like to say, the whole planet is Africa. Let's go to the next point. Music, movies, and media reprogram us. Of course. They use entertainment to normalize violence, sexual exploitation, and self-hate. Right? Point. When your enemy controls your stories, he controls your mind. I use this all the time. When they had the Bruce Lee movies, the martial arts movies coming out in the 70s, and all the kids wanted to be Bruce Lee. Taking their mama's broomsticks and cutting them in half and putting the chain, and now they have these nunchucks, and they want to hit. Okay, that was kind of innocent. Except, don't do that to your mama's broom. When Rocky movies came out, a lot of Italians, a lot of white guys, and even some, it affected me too. It's a good movie. Everybody wanted to fight, be a boxer. Even some guys who didn't have it in them, they got beat down because they got confidence from that, right? So if you see us as drug dealers and thugs and homosexuals and pimps and streetwalkers or angry people just cussing, and if we don't have anything strong at home to model ourselves after or within our circle to say, hey, that's not the right way. And they see how effective you can be as a father who is taking care of his family, protecting his family, providing for his family. The community that I grew up in Richmond Hill, Queens, South Richmond Hill, Queens, 2 blocks over from the Jamaica borderline, which I always claim Jamaica, Queens, because over the Van Wyck Expressway was more black, and they didn't like us moving into South Richmond Hill, even South Ozone Park, all those parts. We had more community. We had other fathers of other families who'd look out for us as though we were their children. My father would look out if he saw something wrong or whatever, he'd go and talk to the parent, like, hey, listen, this is what I saw them doing. But the media is so powerful that we see it now in the movies and entertainment, but mainly the movies and stuff on YouTube now. We got this VO3, VEO-3 that Google came out with, and it looks so real. It's AI. So people are going to be personally making their own movies, which can be good if we create something that has the right mindset and the right ingredients to help erase the old and reset into the new, which is reconnecting with who we should, getting back on track. That's the bottom line. Get us back on track. We know that. We don't have to stress that one too much. The next one, our division is the result of a reset. Of course, tribalism, colorism, passport wars. We argue about who's real when we're all original. We're arguing about who's real when we're all original, fashioned in a special way. Yet we're all connected, but we've been turned in on each other. We're not building and making progress while we have these games played on us, so we're stagnant arguing. What is arguing doing? Shut up. Understand that we're all connected, and let's build. The legacy you leave of arguing about politics, arguing about I'm not African, I'm not black, I'm this, and arguing about, what are you leaving the world to leave in a better place? Huh? Just nothing. Nothing. The point of your transition, and we're all moving closer to that, how are you going to feel when you look back on your life if you have the luxury to do so? Because some of us leave out of here like this, bad accidents, we don't wake up sometime or whatever. How are you going to feel? We know how the world is. I understand the wicked things that are happening in the world, but I'm just as wicked in my righteousness. I'm not wicked. I said it that way because I'm just as intense in bucking back on the craziness that's put on us mentally. And you have some people that mean good, but they don't have no idea. And I don't know everything. It's a gradual thing to come out of the hole. You can be out there swimming on the ocean, bright sunny day, and go deeper and deeper and deeper. And you know the rays of the sun will stop hitting you when you go deep? Probably you can't swim that deep. But we can be so covered with foolishness and covered in dirt and things that clog us up that we don't even know why we're alive. And that's why we get more into the decadence that they offer us. It doesn't have to be porn. It could be liquor. It could be drugs. It could be gossip. It could be just being hateful on the inside. Just hateful for everything. Your life is stagnant because that stuff that you've indulged in didn't do anything for you. I look forward to every single day God gives me. Yes, I said God. Because you have other people who want to turn it around to make it something that it's, come on. Come on. They get all to the juju and all of that stuff. If the juju was good, you wouldn't be as broke as you are. We wouldn't be as broke as we are. We wouldn't be controlled as we are. And if there is, and I know there's righteous things that we have in our history that we've been disconnected from, if we get back to that in unison, like that, we change the world, our world. The shackles would fall off. And even if you don't display physical shackles around your wrist and around your mind, they're there. And we waste our time, we waste our life, we waste our energy. It's just, it doesn't make any sense. Next point. The treatment of black women reflects the reset. Many black men disrespect black women, not knowing they're attacking their own power source. I said that funny. I don't mean sauce like sauce, you would source. I should have said that. That's what I meant. We're attacking our own power source. The ones who's going to replicate us, the one who holds our future in their womb. And we don't protect them, help to guide them with the right foods to eat if they don't know, make them the crucial point of a home. But a lot of us don't want a home. We want to rip and run the streets. We want to go in other people's apartments and houses and you know, lay up, and there's no purpose. Our sperm has no value. But let me read the point on this. The reset taught us to dishonor our queens, but in truth, we rise with them, or we don't rise at all. How are you gonna have a bicycle with one wheel? I mean, you can say, I ride a unicycle. What I mean is that the bicycle's not gonna work with one wheel. It's made to work with two wheels. We have to work together in unison. That's nature. How I look trying to be a woman, which I can never be. I don't care what technology they have to put breasts on and butts and hormones and stuff. I'm a man. I'm a male. No matter what. I can never be other. That's why they have our minds screwed up. Trans. Trans what? Only trans I know is Trans Europe Express from back in the day by Kraftwerk. That song. or transparent, which you have a lot of those out here who are trans and they're trying to be a parent. Crazy world we live in. That's reset to mess up the whole world. Because like I said, I know there are entities that are from other dimensions that, with the AI, like I spoke about the other day, they doing all kind of things that we're not even aware of. And as it rears its ugly head decades from now and appears, you're like, oh my God. But Lance was crazy, right? I can see it, I'm not afraid to tell it. I might not be around to see. Maybe I will, I don't know. But I know what I see. I know the trajectory of how this world in my life has gone. I was born on April 8th, 1963, and I was highly perceptive. My parents kept me that way. Yes, I had my wild days, but even through then, I knew what I saw. And now, I'm not gonna hold back. Don't hold back. Remember that song? Who made that song? Chanson? CHANSON? Oh, songs pop in my head all day. The energy from that in those more righteous days when we had music that was more decent, and you could have songs that were made in double speak, you know, let's get it on. I thought it was about two people fighting, you know, not about to have sex or make love, you know what I mean? Love won't let me wait. I thought it meant, you know, I couldn't wait to get home to get to my girlfriend or something. I'm 10 years old hearing this song. Why can't we go back to that? But we've been reset to be the most decadent, and it's showed to us more so now. The Supremes. What group is named Supremes now, or the equivalent now? They're just, you could sing real well, but you have to show your titties. You gotta show your ass. And if you don't have one, you gotta have one, a BBL. Musical porn now. You gotta look a certain way on a video to keep them looking at the video, and they'll keep playing the song over and over until you believe it's a hit. The hits for me are back in the day, the songs that I chose, I play every day. I'm not waiting for this manufactured madness to hit my brain. They may have a nice beat. I'll play the instrumental version and put my own words and my own thoughts. Nah, I filter my mind. I'm not just eating any slop you put in front of me on the table. Because this is training. This is you getting ready in this war to make yourself better, more perceptive. And you don't get weaker as you get older. Your body may not be as strong as when you were 20 years old, 18 years old, 25 years old. But you as a sharpshooter on the spiritual warfare, you should be just as sharp. And you should be so respected because of your wisdom, and the age should bring wisdom, but in many cases, the age doesn't bring wisdom when you're messing around with the poison they're putting out there for you to eat. So we have a lot of gray-haired fools now that we bestow wisdom on. Oh, he's gray, he's elder. He's just older. If you're a fool, if you're older and have no wisdom, you're not an elder, you're just an older fool. You see what I mean? That's all you are. We have people who are younger, who got it together. They could be in their 20s. And they may possess a certain perspective and wisdom in a certain area, where in that area or multiple areas, they're an elder to me. Elder has nothing to do with age. It's where you are, where you stand. So don't think, well, I'm this age and no. Because I'm 62 years old now, don't put that on me. I can still be a fool compared to the next person. I don't want to be a fool. I'm striving to know more and elevate my mind and elevate myself. So hopefully tomorrow I can be better than I am today. The other thing, I don't have no time to envy nobody. Just want to throw that in there. So no matter how many people making videos and try to come because they want clout, go ahead. That shows you're not really about it. Like I said earlier, they want to fight and argue and dance and brag, and I got hits, and so what? Where's it gonna go when they put you down in that grave? Won't matter. Okay, you make 1 million YouTube videos, they can shut it down. There'll be other people doing stuff. Who knows what's gonna be around 15, 20 years from now? Will social media still be the same? It served its purpose anyway of mass mind control. But let me not go off on a tangent. Those are things I'm going to talk about later on in the week. Here we are. The spiritual disconnect is no accident. We are spiritual by nature. They gave us organized religion that supports white supremacy and capitalist greed. That's the truth. And the point behind that, they erased our inner connection to the Most High and reset it with fear and obedience. So we fear the man now. We're obedient to their system that they put between us, right? You go out in the sun every day, it gives you nutrients. It relaxes you. It does things for you that science hasn't even discovered yet. But yet when you go into the church, you see a white Jesus in the stained glass window, and it's a halo around his head. That's the sun behind him. But they call him the sun, right? They call him the sun. But he's blocking you from the sun that you need to be getting every day. Why do you think Bill Gates wants to block the sun? He knows something. Sun don't do them no good, they burn. Because they ain't supposed to be here as the planetary viruses. But we get out there in the sun, and they want to keep us from the sun in our jobs, in these little cubicles, and even in the church. Why don't they lift the roof off the church and let the sun hit you? Why don't they have service, so-called, where the sun's rays can hit you? And here you are, fully clothed up to your neck, walking out, I'm getting my sun. Well, how's the sun hitting your body? It's got to hit your whole body, right? You don't take some food on a big plate and take a little scoop and put on the edge of the plate and say, here's nutrition for you. You got the whole plate. You can hold a lot more. You got your whole body. Look, every day, unless it's raining, I wake up, I go up on one of my balconies. Nobody can see me, I'm private, and strip off all my clothes. Like I said before, with me, there's no place where the sun don't shine. Everything gets it. Everything opens up. Okay, let's get this side. Let's get that side. Let's lift this up. You know what I mean? Let them get all up under in there. Sunlight. You get your downloads. You get your instructions. You're not going to get it in an artificial atmosphere. Call me crazy. That's how it works. How can I keep doing this stuff all these years? You know? And have the passion. I don't care if it gets negative 250 hits, we're going to keep on doing this. You have unrighteous people that say they're not going to stop things. Yeah, I'm talking about P. Diddy. I thought I told you that we won't stop. I thought I told you that we won't stop. And he didn't. He's digging a spot down in the hole. And just think, that's not the worst of it, right? You have to choose how you want to live. You choose your trajectory. Reset, but erase this crap that's been put on us. So we live down to that expectation. And almost on cue, we start acting up in front of the one that wants us to remain on a lower level. But whenever you're dignified, well-read, well-spoken, have lots of education, not indoctrination, the true education, you're feared, you're marginalized, you're weird. Oh, what you mean you don't party? Didn't you go out drinking this weekend? No. You go to your job Monday morning or whenever you go back after a couple of days off. Yo, man, how many girls you smashed this weekend? What you mean? I don't beat women. Come on, you know what y'all mean by smash. And you get the other ones that see that you're not into these things and they go back to their higher up in admin. You get that coon who runs back. Oh, he doesn't do these things. He doesn't. Well, what does he do? Then you're a threat because you're focused. See, if you're focused on foolishness, you're not a threat to the system. But when you're focused on the right thing, they don't want you to benefit from anything that they have in their system because you're not doing as you should. You should be wrecking your life up. They have their Christmas parties and you come up there with your dysfunctional self. You a dude and you're talking, oh, this is my husband. What? You a woman and going up in there and you got some weird looking dude who ain't got nothing else on his mind. And people are smiling at you, but they're laughing at you. If you can't keep your life straight, reduce the people in your circle. You don't have to grab onto anybody when you hope to go up higher, because when you go up higher, chances are most of the people who are around you now, they're not going to be around you. Because you see, they'll take pleasure in you not making it, secretly. And they will say they want you to do better, but really deep down, they don't want you to be better than them. And when you start getting, I don't mean better, anybody can be better, but in their mind, what they consider success to be. If you get a better car than them, a bigger house, they start hating you. You may even realize this. They might be competing with you. Like Madam Whip-Ass told me way back in the 90s, several decades ago. She said, Lance, have you ever found yourself in a race that you didn't know that you were in? But when you thought about it and you realized it, you were winning this race that you didn't know you were in. And the people racing you were losing the race and they're mad at you. And you realize, why are these people mad at me? Because you're winning the race, but you didn't offer to come in. You didn't volunteer to be in no race. You're just being yourself. And you have that. People will dislike you for you being reconnected or connected to your mission and you being who you are and you being confident and people seeing this in you, and they don't like the admiration that comes from other people when you're sincere about what you do. They don't like it. So they want to try to get your destiny or derail you or say things, right? Comes to whispering spirits. Want to rob your destiny. They want to smear your reputation with other people. But all you do, you keep on shining, you keep on your track, because what they're going to do, spend their life talking bad about you? And they look around now. After doing this, it could be a year, it could be 6 months, it could be 5 years. Their life will be jacked up because they didn't spend the time focusing on what they had to do, what our Creator had for them to do. I don't worry about anybody else. I love as many people as I can. If you don't love me, I don't love you. I'm not wasting it. I budget my love, y'all. I'm not going to be some turn the other cheek type Negro. I'm saying that for a fact. I don't waste my righteous energy on anyone who hates me. And there are people I've heard, they've told other people, I hate him, man, hate him, we can't, no, I don't dislike him, I hate him. Really? What'd I do to you? If you're not happy with who you are, that's your problem. I love being Lancescurv. I'm sorry, and I don't really mean I'm sorry. I'm being sarcastic. I love my life. I love the experiences that I've had. For somebody who may not be monetarily rich or wealthy, I've had a wealth of experiences that I am not trading, that I can share with you, and you know I'm talking the real deal. I'm made in a special way, and you should realize you're made in a special way. But the different tools in the toolbox of life have different purposes. You can't want to be me and not be you. If you're you and embrace yourself, you'll love your life, but you don't like yourself. I didn't do that to you. I didn't make you hate yourself, okay? That's your doing, what you allowed, because you were erased from your past and who you are and reset into something else that doesn't resonate with you. I know my past. I'm learning more and more about it. I love being here in the motherland. It may not be perfect in certain aspects of the political or certain mindsets, because many people here have been erased and reset. But this is more me. And yes, it is part of the lineage on my father's side from Ghana as a Jamaican. So don't tell me who I'm not, right? Don't tell me who I'm not. And there's more to me than just that. I don't deny that. But don't tell me. Because it is written, it's proven, it's in my bloodline and DNA. That's why I feel so at peace here. I was watching a piece of the other video I made just to see how the sound came out. I can hear all these crickets. I'm quite sure you can still hear them. I can look right outside. I can't see all the way in the backyard because it's way big back there. It's dark, trees, fruits and stuff. When I sleep close to nature. I hear the sounds of summertime all year round. You know? And there's ignorance here too. But there's certain ways I won't be attacked. And like I said, I'm the gray man. I keep myself hidden. You see me, but you may not know what I'm all about. You may not even know what I'm thinking. I'm on that now more so than ever before. So I'm really focused on what comes to me. And like I said, this message came to me, and like I said, it's all about what I download. And here's the next point. The spiritual disconnect is no accident. We are spiritual by nature. They gave us organized religion that supports white supremacy and capitalist greed. They erased our interconnection to the Most High and reset it with fear and obedience. Okay, I read that one already. It's time for me to end this. If I'm repeating things, right? Here's the next one for real. The only way forward is a righteous reset. We must erase what was planted in us and return to who we truly are. That requires inner work, unity, study, love, and action. Re-erasing the lies and resetting ourselves consciously is the only way to break the chains. Let's come back to ourselves. We were not put here to be entertainers, athletes, or beggars for justice. We are builders, protectors, visionaries, and spiritual vessels of truth. We must erase what they gave us and reset in alignment with who we are, not just individually, but as a global African family. Global. So you who are saying you're not this and you're not that, Global and unity. Anything, again, I'm going to say it this way before I end it down, that doesn't have us on a path of unity, and many talk unity, but they can't stand their own brother. They talk love and they get up here and talk all this stuff, but if you knew their personal lives, you'll see what they really do in practice is diametrically opposed to the stuff that they talk. You just sit back and listen. You just watch. You ain't fooling me. You ain't coming around me. I don't want you around me. See, there's a point where people say, well, you should forgive. No, there's no unlimited forgiveness here. If you try to backstab me, hurt me, destroy me, you did that with intent unless something was wrong with you. But these people that do that, cut them. Now I'm flying lighter than I ever did before. I cut so many people away from me. All the phone calls, putting stuff in your head and twisting you around and trying to take you off path. No. And this dirt road that's in front of my house, it's there's no address. The GPS address. Ain't nobody gonna roll up and find me. I'm gone from that place. I'm gone and cut off from these people, these energies, as I erase and reset. So I'm expecting greater things from me. I'm expecting greater energy and focus and drive and creativity in these years because I had 62 years on a practice run. So from now on, it's gotta be banging, banging, banging. I'll accept no less. I'll accept no less. Anyway, there's so much more I have to talk about. We'll resume this tomorrow. And I'm just glad that you have spent the time with me and to have these little talks. And I think you value it a little bit more than just the foolishness that's out there. But I will talk about things happening in the world only for the purpose of a lesson, to say, hey, this is happening, but look at it deeper. I'm always looking at things deeper now. That's what I'm all about, not just the superficial foolishness. Anyway, much love to you. Thank you for being here. Lancescurv out, on to the next one. We'll have this up in a few hours. It takes a while, especially when it's long like this. I don't know how long I've been on, but we're going to do it until the feeling subsides. And that's how it works in nature. Much love to you all. Thank you so much. Also, Lancescurv X. Lancescurv X. That's the website. Lancescurv.com. I'm going to point that to Lancescurv X eventually because I'm taking a lot of stuff from there and putting it there. But Lancescurv X is where you need to go, right? Sign up there by email. You get everything by email. You won't miss one thing, right? Wonderful platform. Anyway, take care. Much love. Stay safe, stay conscious, and stay alert. And be aware about what's around you. Seen and unseen. The hidden motivations and secret agendas. Peace.